Welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of March 13th, 2023. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
And Nicole Eridix.
Hello.
Every week we chat about what parents are talking, complaining, and obsessing about right now. This week, we're complaining about lazy parenting and obsessing about our kids' astrological signs. We also take a couple of breaks for an entertainment discussion and a recommendation roundup. Today, we are talking about things that, as moms, we would never do. We limit ourselves that way? I don't know. Nicole, what's this about?
Oh, this just came from...
I like to have the prerogative to do anything I please. But.
So this just came from a TikTok trend for you TikTokers.
Of course it did.
And so we're actually a little late to the party because the trend kind of peaked about 2 months ago. But it was...
Sounds about right.
It was people who would list 5 things that they would never do in relation to their profession. So like you would get, mechanic come on and say 5 things I would never do as a mechanic, or you get a doctor, 5 things I'd never do as a doctor, or cardiologist or dentist. So it was this whole thing that went around to that was, don't waste your time on this, don't waste your time on that.
Okay, so yeah, it was saying like I would never do this thing because I'm a doctor and I understand how useless it is. Okay.
Yeah. So it was giving you some insight into what was necessary and what was not. So, on that note, what would 5 things you'd never do as a mom?
Based on our professional knowledge as mothers, basically.
Yes.
We have lots of experience. Between all of us, we have a lot of experience.
I would never parent according to a listicle, something like that.
Yeah.
I would never trust a parenting book written by a doctor.
Oh.
Or a parenting book written by somebody with a bunch of initials after their name.
Good point.
Whether they're a doctor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a,
Good point.
some other thing, some other distinguished profession, as opposed to like, hey, I tried this and it worked or it didn't work.
Yeah.
If it's...
Right.
Hey, I have examined many people in my office, and this is what I think they should do. Yeah, you're not home.
You know what? You're totally right. I would not do that either.
I read a lot of books by doctors that I felt like, well, yeah, if I could go to your office, this might work for me.
Right.
But otherwise, I don't think so.
Yeah, I would read those, and it would say, like, when you do X, your child will do Y. I'm like, will they though? Because I would like for you to come here and do X and discover that child will not do Y. That's not how it seems to work around here.
Yeah. Well, they probably do Y for the doctor, but then if the doctor left.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
That's definitely a thing that I learned. Whose opinion to value. I'd rather follow what the mom says on TikTok than what the doctor says in the book.
Sadly, isn't that the truth?
TikTok was not there when I was around. It was what the mom did on my email listserv.
Right.
Back in the olden days, children.
How about you, Catherine? Do you have anything?
I think if you're thinking about when you had babies, like I wouldn't buy most of the stuff that they try to sell you, that you supposedly need for a baby, right? Like you don't need a baby wipe warmer, and you don't even need like a special diaper bag. Like a bag will work just fine.
I miss diaper bags, man. I always say, don't be in such a hurry to get your kid out of diapers, because you're going to miss the storage.
You can keep on using the diaper bag.
I guess. I had toys in there. I had, a book that I could read while my son sat and picked through cars at Toys R Us. All sorts of things I could fit in there.
Yeah, yours would be like, you don't have to buy anything at Toys R Us. You can just go there and look.
Yes, don't just go get the most expensive toy and leave feeling good about your parenting. Bring yourself a book, sit down on an empty shelf, and let your kid go through the Hot Wheels for an hour and a half, and then buy him a 99-cent car. This is how we do it. You get some alone time, the kid gets a toy, Toys R Us gets a few bucks for your time.
Right.
And
You would literally bring
wonderful.
a book and sit down at Toys R Us?
I did. I absolutely did. Because he would just have to look at every single Hot Wheel
Oh, okay.
and Matchbox car, possibly multiple times.
Wow.
And I got time to myself. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, and see, you figured out how to work it to your
Yeah.
advantage, basically. You
Find
know,
myself a little patch of floor that people wouldn't step on me.
right?
Nobody ever said, "What are you doing, lady? Move along."
Instead
they
of
just knew.
Instead of rushing him through it,
Yeah.
you made it to be
That's
a good
great.
experience for both of you.
It's a cheap play date.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's impressive.
kinda
That was a
miss
good
those days,
hack. That was
It
a
was a
parenting
good
hack.
hack. Absolutely.
You would have gone viral on TikTok.
Yes, if I had been in the age of TikTok, I
Yes.
totally could have made something of that.
Totally.
Just film yourself and
Might have written an about.com blog post about it, but that was about it.
I can just
good
see
times.
the TikTok with just the like time lapse of like Terry in different outfits, you know, indicating that it's a different day. And here we are back at Toys R Us.
Never mind the playground, folks.
Right.
Those were the days. Now he doesn't want to be seen with me, but
Even if you got him a Matchbox car.
I think now I would have to get him an actual car. That's another thing he used to like to do. That's something he did with my husband, which was they would just go to car dealerships and walk around and look at the cars. Mm-hmm. That one he didn't get. He didn't get a car to bring home with him. He just got to go look at them. But I'm sure car salesmen loved that.
Right.
But
well,
yes.
and this is something that you quickly learn as a parent that like the most expensive toys are generally not worth it because the kid
Yeah.
wants to play with small things or random things or
Right.
you know a cardboard
Yeah.
box, right? And until they get old enough to require an iPhone and a video game console and theater tickets, that's where my
Yeah.
money goes.
Yeah, don't feel like you have to buy a fancy play space or ball pit for your home. You can really just go to Burger King or to Chuck E. Cheese and buy yourself a soda and dump your kid in the ball pit for a couple of hours and read a book. So I was into found time back then.
Right. Well, it's about recognizing the opportunity, right?
Don't even have to buy a whole meal or a pizza.
Right.
They'll let you sit
Right.
there for a cup of coffee
Exactly.
Excellent.
if you go off times.
I remember you once saying, Nicole, like, kids don't always have to go to school. Like, sometimes they need a day off, and you, as
Yeah.
a parent, need them to have a day off.
Yeah.
Yes. You do not have to. This whole concept of 100% perfect attendance is a construct of the school system because they get money when the child attends school.
Right.
And when they don't get money. So, you know, everybody needs a day or two or three. It's a healthy balance. Mm-hmm. You know, some days just gotta write it off. So don't stress about.
So from your experience as a mother, you would say, I would not go for the perfect attendance certificate.
Exactly. Like, and guaranteed you're sending your kid to school anyway, at least one of those days sick. I mean, it's just the odds are.
Right.
So, you know, don't, like, are you proud that you're sending your child to school sick and that they're going to get other kids sick? Like, it's okay. Relax. They don't, yeah. And here's the other thing, too, as a parent. It's okay if your child is not getting all of those awards in elementary school or middle school or even high school. Because that does not determine what their success is going to be outside of high school. I mean, yes, you want to support them and, provide assistance with their academics in terms of helping with their homework and stuff. But, I think of those kids that some were driven internally, right? To achieve those awards. Some clearly had their parents kind of directing them.
I was that kid. I was both driven, and my mother would go and,
right,
make sure that I got in, or I got something, or she would negotiate with whoever was the gatekeeper.
Right.
But my kids could care less. I'm the only one who cares about that stuff.
Honest to goodness, when I look at both of my kids, and they did well in school. They weren't super high achieving. They got good marks, but I look at where they were at and their peers, and now I look at where they and their peers are at now, 3 or 4 years out of high school. Wow. There's some drastic differences in their outcomes.
Look up those parents of those kids and say how well your kids are doing now. How are your kids doing? Oh, your kid won the most likely to succeed, right? How are they succeeding? My kid is succeeding.
I don't know. I just focus on giving them a healthy, well-rounded childhood and school experience. And not everything about school is you can cut corners, okay? It's not. Yeah.
I don't know. Depends on the kid, I think.
Pardon?
But depends on the kid. But yeah. I mean, that's a healthy way to do it. Not to care.
Well, I mean, I think you
the
should
kid
care,
cares.
but there has to be a healthy level of caring.
Yeah.
Right. Teachers are not... I mean, they know your kid, but they don't know everything about your kid.
Right.
There.
Yes.
That's my something you should know.
I'm glad to hear that coming from you, because it would have come from me also, but as being that you're a teacher, it's better. Yeah.
Yeah. If you feel like they're not getting an accurate picture of your child, go, say something.
They do not want to hear it, however, is the problem. In my experience.
It's true. But then
They think their thing would be, as a teacher, I would never think that moms know everything. They don't know as much as the teachers do. I feel like some teachers thought. That mom is delusional. I can see the truth.
Yeah, but then you're like, okay, well, they're just going to be with my kid for a year, as long as they don't do any severe damage.
Yeah. That was also always my line when they said, we know everything and this is what should happen. And it's like, yeah, but if you're wrong, you're going to be long gone. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be dealing with it. So
exactly.
Right.
Might as well do it my way. And then if I'm wrong, I'll be right there to regret it. Shaking my fist at you from afar is not going to feel good.
Right. But I need you to be close by.
Yes. And since only I will be close by, I will punch myself in the nose. It'll be fine.
No. Well, I don't know if we've gotten up to 5 yet. We may have. We'll see. We'll go back and check later. But we have reached the end of our round one.
From our mother's experience, we would say one thing we wouldn't do is keep talking about this topic.
Yes. But tune in tomorrow for our entertainment-themed round 2, and later in the week to find out what we're complaining about, obsessing about, and recommending right now. We're always interested in what you have to say, so drop us a comment on our website, our Facebook page, or Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.